Hey you guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about how I did this, so here we go. These are the things you will need. You need a stain blocking primer. This is Cover Stain by Rust-oleum. There's different ones. There's Kills brand, there's the Zinsser brand I think, and Walmart has a off-brand. But it's oil. You'll need oil-based stain blocking primer, which does not require sanding and dries quickly. Make sure that it's oil-based. You don't want water-based because this is in your kitchen, so you need it to, last. So then you want to get your roller. This is a sponge roller. It just goes on better, and this stuff is very, very thick, so be prepared that whatever you're using with this stuff you're gonna throw it out. So even with like the paint remover, the stuff, it won't get this out. It's just too thick. So then you need a sanding block. This is 180, I believe, grit, 180 grit. I'm not sure. But that worked just fine, and you'll need a sample, an idea of what you want the outcome to be. So this is a laminate sample. I couldn't find any granite samples at the store, but I did have a granite sample on my phone that I kept referring to. And then you need your acrylic craft paints. These are at my Walmart for 57 cents up to $1. Up to $1.97, just different prices, but these are the 57-cent ones. They're apple barrel, and I did my base coat, which is this one, and then I did very little of this one. I found out that I did not like this one in here as much, so when I got to the island, which we did last, we only did very, very, very little of this. And then the dark brown, this is melted chocolate, and this is my accent color, so that's where you see the brown coming through. And then for my top layer, I had one that was kind of a little bit lighter than this for the top layer, and it turned the countertop like grayish, which is not what I was going for. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have a problem. I have to start over. And Casey was just like, oh my goodness, you are not starting over. I'm like, yes, I am. So I went to the store. I got more primer. I got another brush because we used all this. And I came back and he's like sanding the countertop to no end. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm getting this, top coat off so that you don't have to start over. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're brilliant. Okay, so he sanded that top layer off, and I was able to kind of redeem myself. So I knew that color, mixing with these colors, didn't work, and it needed more white in it. So what I did is I mixed my base color and this lighter color that I had went and got once I found out the other one didn't work, and I mixed these two together, and I used more white than tan. And so that's where you see like this creamy color in here, which I think is beautiful. So that's all I used. I did buy more than that, but that's what I used, and I got like 4 or 5 of these things. Because with the island and then the 2 countertops, don't look at my sink, it's hideous. And I needed like 4-ish or so of the base color. And then I needed 2 of these, I think. 1 chocolate. So let's get started to how you apply it. So you put on like a latex glove, and you can use a half sheet of a paper towel or a full sheet. And you want to use the half sheet for the smaller areas and smaller accent colors. So I used the half sheet for the brown, and I just kind of randomly did the brown, and so that's where you see the brown coming through. And you want to use the half sheet for your edges. The edges are super, super hard because they just look blotchy, and you have to really sand it down and get it to how you like it. And then for the full sheet, I used full sheets for the base color, and I did want white coming through, so I left this primer white. You can tint it to your liking, but I wanted that white to come through. So let's see, what else? So you dab, you want to get your towel kind of, when you first start, you want to kind of look at it and see, okay, that looks good. Pretend, I was using a white paper plate, so you squirt out some of your color, you put your paper towel in it, and then you'll see a bunch of paint on there. You want to get all the excess paint off so that it's not gloppy, whatever, and you just start dabbing. And you don't want to smear, you just want to like barely touch it, especially your first, after dipping, your very first dab, you want to barely touch the counter. And you just keep doing that, just kind of like boop, boop. Boop, boop. Okay, so that is that. Trying to think of anything else I missed. I don't think so. I'll tell you one thing though. What really sucked is getting around this and getting it to really blend. We taped this off, of course. I had just taken it off, but getting around this was really hard. And getting back here was really hard. Don't mind my like ugly plastered wall right now. We need to get the backsplash put in still. But so yeah, getting around here was the hardest, and then getting around the sink was pretty hard too. I'm trying not to show you my sink because it's full of dishes, because we can't use counters and dishwasher's full, blah blah blah, whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just make sure you sand often between each color. I would say I would sand, do a light sand to make sure your counter is smooth. There's no texture to this. I wanted to make sure there wasn't a texture. If you want a texture, then I wouldn't sand as much. But and then also when you're all finished, you want to do a sand because it just blends everything together really nicely. So yeah, I really like it. And now I need to paint the cabinets. I don't know when I'm going to do that though. So I already had this, so I didn't have to buy that. I already had this, I already had this, I already had this. So I basically just bought the paints, which I bought quite a few of them, so I spent maybe $8-9 or so, 10 bucks. And then I still need to put the polyurethane on top of this to make it shiny and protected. So the polyurethane for the can, the size that I'll need, is probably going to be about $15. So what is that? 25 bucks for this countertop makeover. So I'm pretty excited. If you guys have similar countertops to mine, you know, the solid surface, I would definitely try this out. You can't hurt it. It's pretty much, you know, dummy proof. You're just dabbing. So, and if you mess up, you start over, or you have, you know, your husband come and sand it down all night. So that is it. Thanks for all your guys' nice comments about it. I really love it.